Hey guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. I've really just turned the video off from the one that I did yesterday and turned it back on, and we're just kind of working through this journal. I kind of have a general idea of what I want to do, but not exactly, so we're just going to kind of go with it here, okay? I do have to admit that I have been drinking, so I did forget to turn my microphone back on, and now I have to do a voiceover because it was horrible. So what we're going to do here is I've got this leftover piece of paper, this scrap piece of paper here, and we're going to make a belly band out of this. So let's go ahead and glue these two pieces together. I just want to make sure that it's going to be the right size for my journal. And we're just going to go ahead and glue this with some Uhu glue. You can definitely sew around this if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to glue it today. Simple reason is it's a lot of work for me to get my sewing machine out. I kind of have to pull it out and back in, like pull it onto my table and then move it and pull it back out, plus the noise of it. Some people don't like the noise of it, so I don't know, maybe I will maybe I'll do some sewing on screen sometime, but not today. All right, so I am going to take a sip of wine for some liquid courage, just so I can get through this this whole process. So we're just going to glue up on this side of the scrap paper, and we'll glue it to that extra piece of cardstock that I have, and we'll just go ahead and glue it down, and that is a simple way to create a belly band. Again, here I'm just trying to tell you that it's a lot of work to bring my sewing machine over is what's really going on. I do apologize that I've had to do a voiceover for this one. This is really what happens when, you've been drinking and you forget to plug in your microphone. So sorry about that. Okay, so we've got that glued down, and now what I want to do is go ahead and trim this up, and then I think that I want to round the corners on this just to give it a little bit of more of an interesting look. So just trimming that off. We've got this fun little leftover scrap piece that we can collage with later. That's all good. We'll set it aside. And then now we're just going to, again, measure up how high or how tall this belly band should be. I'll trim off a little bit here. There we go. And then now I can go ahead and ink this up. Again, I like to use this vintage distress ink. You can use whatever you like. I just kind of like the look of this. So I think what I need to do is, again, I want to round the corners, and I'm using this corner rounder that I used to be in love with, and I'm not so sure I'm in love with it anymore because it doesn't seem to be cutting properly. It could be user error, absolutely, that is such a possibility, but I don't know, this is really thin cardstock and it should be going through and it's not cutting, so I don't know if there's something stuck in there or what's going on, but yeah, it's definitely giving me troubles. So I end up going with my old faithful, my old corner rounder that I have, which is really disappointing because this I find it hard to use my original corner rounder, like to hold it. It's kind of cumbersome. There's not a lot of leverage on that little place where you push down on it, but it's an old faithful. It cuts really well, so there's that. It's sad because this one here, it has the three different settings. It's got the small, medium, and large, and yeah, I don't know why it's not cutting, but yeah, really disappointing. Maybe I have to sharpen it or something, I don't know. But we'll just go ahead, and it looks like I've got all those corners rounded now, and we'll go ahead and ink it up with our vintage photo. Again, it just kind of frames out. You don't have to ink it all if you don't want to. You don't even have to use vintage photo. Use a different color if you want. I just really like the look of this for this particular journal. It just kind of gives it that grungy look and really just kind of frames out this belly band. So we've got that all inked up, and then we'll go ahead and put it on a page. And we're going to find out where we want it. Just kind of flipping through. I really like the look of it on this page here. I think that's a lot of fun. Now, it is a bit long, I think. It's just a little bit too tall, so I think I want to trim it down. I like how that butterfly kind of is set off by that orange in the background. So we'll go ahead and just trim it up a little bit more. And then we can go ahead and round those corners again, and then just give it a wee bit more inking on where we trimmed it off. Okay, so I think that works a lot better. Yeah, I like that. I'm so happy with the way that looks on that page. Just it really brings out that orange. So I'm sure you guys know this already, but when you're gluing down a belly band, you just add glue to the top and the bottom, and that's it. So we'll go ahead and add a little bit of a bead along there. My art glitter glue is being a little finicky today. I'm not sure why. It could be the weather. It's been cooler here for sure. We haven't really had summer weather. It's lots of rain. I'm kind of tired of the rain for sure. Hoping we get summer soon. I'd really love to know where you guys are from. It's always interesting to find out where people are tuning in from. So if you wouldn't mind leaving a little comment down below. You know, I'm here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, a little Canadian crafter here. Just go ahead and leave me a quick note. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I think it's so cool that we can chat with each other, you know, around the world. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we've got that glued down, and then I'm just going to figure out what I want to kind of stick under that belly band. I've got some items already fussy cut out on the side there in a little basket. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use one that is a little owl. Owl is a postcard. No, I think it's just a little journaling card. I think that looks cute under there. The other thing I notice is I don't think I have inked it up, so I'm going to go ahead and add some distress ink to that. Now, I have been very lucky. I've been gifted like 4 large boxes of some cardstock that we used to use as backers for our files. I'm a legal assistant, and when we used to have paper files, we would attach the paper to almost like these cardstock backers. And of course, we're digitally now. All our files are digital, so we don't really have the paper. So they, you know, had all this extra cardstock backing, and I'm so lucky that they gave it to me. This piece here that I'm using is really a stark white leftover piece of cardstock, and if that doesn't work for you, if you don't like the look of it, you can go ahead and just ink up the edges just to, you know, kind of tone it down a bit. So we'll ink up the edges, and that just, again, frames it out a bit. And then if you still don't like how bright white that is, normally I would ink up at this time, but instead I'm just going to go ahead and lightly brush over the back of this journaling card just to kind of tone down the color with the vintage photo. So yeah, it just kind of tones it down a bit and, you know, matches a little bit better with the kind of theme of this journal. As you can see here, just kind of tone that down a bit. So we'll go ahead and tuck that down underneath. It's got a cute little label on it already on that style, so we'll just stuff it in there and it's all good. All right, so again, I don't really have too big of a plan of what I'm doing here. I do know I want to work on some edging, so we're going to pull out some of the little strip edging that we made before in a previous video, and that is literally just, I had some trouble finding it. It was literally right in front of my face the whole time, but my craft room is a mess, so I am struggling with that. But yeah, once I find it here, I'll show you that all it really is just strips of cardstock, like say the branding strips that are left over, or pieces that I've cut off that I just really, you can see there, that's a branding strip. I just rip up little pieces of scrap paper and I go ahead and glue them to the top and then sew them. You can use a straight stitch. I've also used the zigzag stitch there. Yeah, so just really fun and simple and just adds kind of interest to your page. With this, you can, like, there's a little bit of lace and stuff in there and some rickrack. Just, you know, adding texture and interest to it. So we'll figure out where we want this to go. I think this kind of looks cool on the page here. I think we'll go the entire length of that page. I mean, you can just do a little bit and do at the top or the middle or the bottom, but this will just kind of glue down on the whole page. We'll just cut it and then we can use the leftovers for something else. So I think that'll look cute. I'm going to go ahead and trim that kind of where those two pieces join. I'm just trimming it with my scissors, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of ink on the edge there where we cut it. As well, I'm going to add a little dollop of glue, of art glitter glue on the threads, just so they don't come undone. And it'll dry clear, so you won't see it on the front there. Just a little dab will do ya, just to keep those threads in place. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add some glue on the edge of the page. As you can see here, I have the threads, the long threads. You can cut them off. I kind of think it looks cool, just having them hang over the edge. It gives it kind of that grungy look, and just, yeah, adds a little bit more interest. But, you know, it's whatever you like. If you want to cut them off, that's totally fine too. So just adding a bead of glue here, and then we'll just glue that down. Just giving it a minute to catch. You can see the different pieces of paper. I've got book page and scrap pages, scrapbook paper. I've got some deli paper. Yeah, just kind of some fun, interesting scraps just to add color and interest. Okay, so that should be okay, making sure I didn't glue my other pages together. It's a little crooked, but that's all right. I don't think the junk journal police are going to come after me and point out that it's crooked, and if they are, well, they're not going to shake their finger at me. And if they do, I'll shake a different finger at them, right? So yeah, I think that looks good. And now we're going to add another strip to the center signature of this junk journal. Just kind of find a page that I think would look good. I think this one would be great. And I want to use this zigzag piece. We'll go ahead and attach that down, and we can cut that. And you know what, actually I think would be really fun is let's make that edge really fun, and let's use our pinking shears. If you have fun different kind of scissors, go ahead and use those. This will just give it a little bit of a decorative edge, and we'll do the same thing at the top. And then we'll ink up the ends. Give it a little ink on the sides too. Just framing that out a little bit more, making it look a little bit grungy. And then we can go ahead and just glue that down to our page. Again, you can add fabric and lace, scrap pieces of paper, whatever you think would look really cool on this edging. Adding some of our glue, and then we'll glue that strip down. And always making sure to put your pin back into your art glitter glue, because oh my goodness, when that gets persnickety and dries up a bit, it does not come out, and oh, it's horrible. All right, I finally got the pin in there. It's horrible, you guys. I wear contacts, and I actually have to wear reading glasses over my contacts to do some of my crafting, and I didn't have my glasses on, so couldn't see. So there we go. We've got some fun pages now. I think that looks great. Apparently I talk a lot with my hands. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but that's all right. We'll ad-lib it here. I was really bummed, you guys, when I realized I didn't have my microphone plugged in. I was like, oh, that's not good at all. And I tried to salvage the original audio, but it was just too horrible. I love the edging of this. I love how it looks, hangs off the side, gives more interest to the journal. Super fun. Again, this is crooked, but nobody's going to be shaking their finger at me. As I said, I'll just shake a different one at them if that's the case. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and go to our last signature and add the last strip that we have made. And I think this page looks good. And we'll just run that down the whole page. And I think this time we'll try ripping it. I don't think it's going to rip really well with the thread, and it kind of doesn't. It ends up pulling it, but I'll just trim that thread, and yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Okay, just inking it up a little bit on the edges again, just where we trimmed it off. Adding a little bit of that glue to the threads just so it doesn't come undone. And then we'll glue it down to the side of the page. Again, that art glitter glue, I don't know, gets all gooby. Okay, so now just gluing this down, and there's another fun page with some edging. Again, you don't have to do this on your journals. If you don't want to, that's just fine. I think it would be fun on this one. We have some leftover pieces that we can use for another project. And look at that. I just think that is so cool. It just makes it look more interesting and, yeah, just kind of fun. Especially with that tag hanging out the top. I want to do a few more pieces hanging off the top as well. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of emails today. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's Friday. I think there's a whole bunch of sales or something going on. Okay, so this is fun. Now what we want to do is, I do have some other page kind of tab sort of things in mind. And hopefully here we'll be able to, oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on. Lots of emails. Okay. I think here what we're going to do is I have some leftover pieces from one of the kits that I want to use, and they are like the little circle pieces or little medallions, and I think that's what I'm going to do here. No, actually this is some little clusters that I made. So just some fun clusters I made in a previous video. With some scraps. These are the little vellum kind of faux washi. You can just attach that right onto like a journaling card. That's kind of fun as a focal point. Yeah, so just some really fun images here. This is really a fun piece. It's got some threads on there. This edging piece here, I have a die cut that I have. It's a burlap die cut, and that is literally just the leftover of the kind of outside scrap pieces of that burlap that I die cut out, and I just thought it was a fun piece and thought I would use it on this little cluster. So yeah, and then we've got some leftover pieces of scrap paper, some deli paper that I stamped on with this bird here, and yeah, just a lot of fun. I just think it's really, really cute, and we'll use this as a page kind of tab or you know, a little embellishment on the side of a page. So we'll go ahead and find where this would look good. I kind of like it there, but these white pages I want to use some gesso and ink on them and just kind of embellish them up a bit. Maybe do some stenciling with some modeling paste. So yeah, there's a whole bunch I want to do to these blank pages just to kind of zhuzh them up a bit. So I don't think I'm going to add it there. I think I will find a different page to put that on just so I can, you know, I want to leave that for people to write on and stuff. And yeah, I just think I want to decorate that a little bit more with something else. So we'll find a different page for it to live on. And I think this page actually is kind of fun. So yeah, we'll go ahead and let's just put it on here because we can do whatever we want. It's our journal. There's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you feel like. So we'll add our art glitter glue to this little piece and we will slap it down on the edge of this page. Again, kind of making sure it's hanging off a bit. We do kind of want to, again, to have it hanging off just to add more interest and have it like a little tab. I think it looks good there. Super cute. I love how it turned out. And just kind of going through and seeing, this is a fun piece too. This is a little flower from Michael's that I got. And then there's this little kind of ruffle piece that I made out of deli paper. And then this little long strip here, that is actually from Stamperia, however you say it, Woodland. It's just literally a leftover piece of paper from the Woodland cut-offs that I had. And then just some book page and, you know, glue them all together and you've got a fun little cluster that you can put on a page. So now we just need to figure out where this guy wants to live. And, you know, I could put it on here, but I think that just kind of blends in a little too much. I want it to, you know, stand out a little bit. So we're just going to kind of, you know, play around with it on some different edges of pages, see what we like. I think this is just too busy. I don't think that would look good on there. just kind of keep flipping. I think that would be fun on there, but let's do, where did I end up finding a place? Again, white paper. I want to do something with that. And I really like kind of the look of it on this crumpled piece of paper. And with that inking, so we'll go ahead and we'll kind of put it in the middle there, and we will call that good. I think that'll be fine right there. We'll add some glue. And we'll just adhere that down. Give it a minute to catch. Making sure that I don't glue any pages together though, because I've been known to do that. That's never good. I need a little dry baby wipe here just to kind of clean off some of that extra glue that's been seeping out. And I think that looks really cute. I like that. And then here are these medallions. Kind of want to glue them together, and I think we need to put this in the center signature. Just kind of figuring out where we could put that. Just play around. I think on here is kind of fun. We have the owl on this side, and that says birds, so I think that'll be cute if we just kind of glue it on the edge like this. So we'll go ahead and add some glue to that, making sure it kind of lines up nicely. I was going to use my Uhu, but then I thought, no, I think art glitter is probably the better way to go on this. So I'm just going to start off gluing half of it. And then I can slip the page in between there. Just kind of making sure it lines up. Open up those two little kind of flaps. We'll add some glue in there. And then we can just tuck the page right in between. And then here is where I realized, oh, poop in a group, I did not ink the edges of this, and I really want to. So I'm going to pull it off, kind of open this up so it doesn't stick together, and ink up those edges. Again, you don't have to ink, but I just, because the cutting on this isn't the best because it's a circle, and we all know circles are hard to cut out. I think that the ink just kind of hides any of those little imperfections. We'll just kind of open it up, reapply our glue, and then stick it on the page, and it'll be fine. There we go. Yeah, I really like the look of that. That's so cute. Super fun. Making sure we don't glue our pages together again. I have a bad habit of that. And there we go. Just a fun little tab. And I just love how those edges of the pages are coming along. They look so nice. Okay, so I think it is about here where I decide I think it would be really fun to play with some fabric pieces that I have. My mom is a quilter, and so she's given me loads and loads of scrap fabric pieces. So I'm just going to kind of clear a little bit of room, and we will go ahead and take a look at what we have in these little scrap bags. As you can see here, she also saves her threads for me, and that's what I use to kind of wrap around and put underneath things like this one here. I'll just give you a quick peek. You can see there I have the threads, and it just kind of looks really fun underneath. It adds texture and interest, and yeah, just kind of cute. So that is what I do with these threads. Nice big old bag. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of dig around. I have another bag here as well that we'll kind of go through and see what we can find. I'm just kind of quickly trying to pick out some pieces that might work for tabs, some little fabric tabs. And just kind of rifling through. There's definitely some smaller pieces in there. I want to do some collaging, I think, with these fabric pieces. I think it would be fun. So yeah, I like this one. And as you can see, some nice big scraps. I really like this orange. I don't know why, but it's really calling to me. And I think it wants to be part of this journal. So I'm going to pull it out and set it to the side. And then we will kind of set this aside. And we'll rifle through the other bag here in a minute. I mean, these are so cute and fun. Look at these. I love this one. Let's pull that out too. These ones are a little bit more pinkish, so we'll set those aside. Our journal isn't really pink. Let's go through this bag. In here, there's a lot more little tiny pieces. So I'll have to figure out, like, you can see these little strips. I'm going to have to figure out something to do with those. I mean, we can use them as tag toppers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think there's really anything in here that's catching my eye. So we'll just kind of go ahead and set it to the side. I could be here all day going through these fabric bags, you guys, but let's just go ahead and work with what we've already pulled out. So again, just flipping through, kind of finding out where we want our next tab, on what page. I kind of like this, this music page, and I'm going to use an alligator clip just to hold that book open. And we'll just flip this open, and let's see. Let's go ahead and actually put it on this nature book piece. I think that'll be cute. Yeah, just fold it over. I mean, you can do this with paper. You can do it with fabric, with lace. It doesn't have to be just fabric. So yeah, let's go ahead, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for this because it is fabric. I do want it to adhere, and the Fabri-Tac will, you know, kind of help it get a little bit stiff too when it dries. So I need to really remember that I have cut a great big hole in this bad boy, and this is going to come out fast, so I shouldn't really be gluing on the book like that, but oh well, what do? You just be careful. Okay, so let's have some more wine. Apparently I needed some more wine. And we're going to stick that onto our book page. Again, being careful that you don't glue your pages together, because that Fabri-Tac will kind of seep through there. I like how that green goes with the green on the page, if you can see there. Really brings it out. And then we'll just simply fold it over and glue it up. I'm just going to stuff a little scrapbook page underneath just so I don't get glue everywhere, because that can happen. I definitely have enough Fabri-Tac on there now. And then we will fold that over, and we've created a simple tag. Again, adding lots of different textures and patterns, it makes your project a little bit more interesting and more eclectic and fun. Okay, so that's got to have a little bit of time to dry here. I'm just going to blot it with this dry. Yeah, it's a little tacky there. Just going to dry it with this dry baby wipe. Sop it up a little bit, and then again, that'll stiffen up when it dries. Okay, so that is fun. Now we're going to move on to our next page where we want a fabric tab. Just kind of playing along here, seeing where it might be good. And I kind of like this bird page, and I like this orange with it. I don't know why. I think the orange is kind of fun. Yeah, I think the orange looks best on that. So let's go ahead and use that. It kind of plays off the red a little bit of that bird. Yeah, in there. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But I think I'm kind of thinking here what I want. I think I actually want to add even more interest to this. I'm going to bring in my pinking shears and just kind of trim the edge, add a little bit of a decorative edge to that tab. Again, I think that's really cute, little zigzag on the edge there. Again, we'll add our fabric tack. Oh my goodness, look at this, you guys. It's a great big bubble on my fabric tack. Ugh, I hate that. It drives me nuts when fabric tack does that, when it bubbles up like that. It's like, sorry, I know this is probably going to offend some people, but it's like a glue booger. Like, I hate it. I hate that sticky feeling and when it kind of dries. So just adding a little bit of that. Now we're going to glue it on the back of the page. Ideally straight, but you know, I never actually get it super straight. Like I said, the journal police are not going to come after you if it's not exactly straight. Just kind of dry that up a bit. Kind of bring in our paper again, just so I don't glue pages together. You can see it's not exactly straight, so I'll try and wiggle it, and then we'll add some more of that fabric tack and glue this bad boy down. Okay, so we've got that kind of glued down. It's kind of seeping through here. Give it a little wipe off. Again, I hate the feeling of fabric tack on my fingers. Oh, I don't know why, it just grosses me out. And so I was kind of thinking, we did have I don't know if I'm going to do it here. I kind of have to say I don't know what I'm doing. There was a lot of time spent trying to search for things, you guys. My craft room is so messy right now. I need to definitely clean it up. But I was thinking about adding a little charm on here, and I'm not sure if I do it now or later. I can't quite recall. Oh, I was talking about tabs. Yeah, so you don't actually have to use just fabric for tabs. There's like tabs from, this is just from a cereal box, like a little flap from a cereal box, and that, you know, those color printing there. I think that's kind of fun how that looks. So you can actually, you know, use that as a tab on the side of a page, or you've got tabs from, you know, journal kits and stuff. So, you know, you're definitely not limited. So this one here is another tab from a cracker box. I just put some printed digital over top and inked it up, and I think it's fun. It'll go great as a little tab on a book page. So, you know, keep your eyes open for things that you can use as tabs. Like I said, fabric, lace, paper, cardboard, you know, whatever you have, you can definitely use to make a tab. So that other one is kind of nice and dry and stiffening up now. So this one we'll try and dry it up as best as we can. Again, I don't really want it to stick to the pages, so kind of have to be careful. Yeah, and it's sticking pretty good here. I'm gonna pull that off, being very careful. And making sure I'm not gluing anything else together here. So again, I think that looks like a lot of fun with the edging. Just adding more interest to our pages. A little grungy, so fun. So fun. Okay, so now we have one more tab that we want to do. And am I going to do it now? I don't know. What am I going to do? Oh, I think this is where I realize I think I want to put this bulb pin. So we had pulled that bulb pin out on the last video with this charm that we didn't use. We were going to do it on the tag topper, and it just didn't look right. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of add it as a little embellishment on this tab, just kind of hanging off. And so I kind of weave it in and out and then try and clip it together to see if that looks okay. And then I'm looking at it, and it doesn't lay quite nicely for me. I don't really like it. So I decide to kind of undo it and just put it through once instead of kind of weaving it back and forth. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I'll just stick it through once. And then I like the look of that a lot better. Get that to hang right. There, yeah, I like the look of that a lot better. I think that's super cute. Just a little butterfly hanging off of there. Again, more interest to things, a little more texture, something shiny. So that is a lot of fun. Again, I like how it hangs on the edge of the page. So yeah, I think it's about here where I realize that I do not have my microphone plugged in, so I end it here, guys. So thanks so much for joining me, and P.S. I love you.